Urusei Yatsura is a comedic manga series written and illustrated by Rumiko Takahashi and serialized in Weekly Shonen Sunday from 1978 to 1987. Its 374 individual chapters were published in 34 tankobon volumes. It is the story of Ateru Murabushi, and the alien Lum, who believes she is Ateru's wife after he accidentally proposes to her. The series makes heavy use of Japanese mythology, culture and puns. The series was adapted into an anime TV series produced by Kitty Films and broadcast on Fuji Television affiliates from 1981 to 1986 with 195 episodes. 11 OVAs and 6 theatrical movies followed, and the series was released on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, and Blu-ray disc in Japan. The manga series was republished in different formats in Japan. Viz Media licensed the series for English publication in North America under the names Lum and the Return of Lum, but dropped the series after 9 volumes were released. The television series, OVAs, and 5 of the films were released in North America with English subtitles, as well as a dub for the films by Animeago. They provided extensive notes on the series to allow people to understand the many cultural references and jokes in the series that would not normally be understood by non-Japanese. The remaining film, Beautiful Dreamer, was released bilingually by Central Park Media. 5 of the movies, as well as the OVAs, are available from MVM Films in the United Kingdom. The series was released on television in Southeast Asia as Lami the Invader Girl. The series received positive reception in and out of Japan from fans and critics alike. In 1981, the series received the Shogakukan Manga Award. The television series is credited with introducing the format of using pop songs as opening and closing themes in anime. In 2008, the first new episode in 17 years was shown at the Rumiko Takahashi exhibition It's a Rumic World. Plot: an alien race known as the Ani arrive on Earth to invade the planet. Instead of taking over the planet by force, the Ani give humans a chance to fight for the rights to the planet by taking part in a competition. The competition is a variant of the game of tag, in which the human player must touch the horns on the head of the Ani player within 1 week. The computer-selected human player is Ateru Murabushi, a lecherous, unlucky and stupid high school student from the Japanese city of Tomobiki, and the Ani player is Princess Lum, daughter of the leader of the invasion force. Despite his initial reluctance to take part in the competition, Ateru becomes interested in the game when he meets Lum. When the competition begins, Lum surprises everyone by flying away and Ateru finds himself unable to catch her. Before the last day of the competition, Ateru's girlfriend Shinobu Miyake encourages Ateru by pledging to marry him if he wins. On the final day of the competition, Ateru wins the game by stealing Lum's bikini top, which prevents her from protecting her horns in favor of protecting her modesty. In celebrating his victory, Ateru expresses his joy at being able to get married. However, Lum misinterprets this as a proposal from Ateru and accepts on live television. Despite the misunderstanding, Lum falls in love with Ateru and moves into his house. Despite Ateru's lack of interest in Lum and attempts to rekindle his relationship with Shinobu, Lum frequently interferes and Shinobu loses interest in Ateru. Still, Ateru's flirtatious nature persists despite Lum's attention. Lum attempts to stop him from flirting, which results in Ateru receiving powerful electric shock attacks from Lum as punishment. 2 characteristics of Ateru are particularly strong: his pervertedness and his bad luck that draws to him all weirdos of the planet, the spirit world and even galaxy. Later Lum begins attending the same school as Ateru despite his objections. Lum develops a fan base of admirers among the boys of the school, including Shitaro Mendo, the rich and handsome heir to a large corporation that all the girls from Tomobiki have a crush on. Despite their romantic interest, none of Lum's admirers will risk upsetting Lum by trying to force her and Ateru apart, although this doesn't stop them from trying to get Ateru punished due to his bad behavior, and interfering every time they get close to him. Production: in 1977, Rumiko Takahashi created the short story Those Selfish Aliens that was nominated for Shogakukan's Best New Comic Artist Award. This would serve as the basis for creating Urusei Yatsura, which was first published a year later when Takahashi was 21 years old. The series was her first major work, having previously only published short stories, and is a combination of romantic comedy, science fiction, suburban life, and Japanese folk tales. The title of the series roughly translates to "those obnoxious aliens." The title is written using specific kanji instead of hiragana to create a Japanese pun. The series first appeared in Shogakukan's Weekly Shonen Sunday in September 1978. At the start of the series it was only scheduled to run for 5 chapters. Ateru was the central character, and each chapter would feature a different strange character. The character of Lum was only going to appear for the first chapter and was not in the second chapter. However, Takahashi decided to re-include her in the third chapter. The series was not an instant success and chapters were initially published sporadically. Between May and September 1978 she simultaneously worked on a series called Dust Spot. However, the increasing popularity of Urusei Yatsura caused her to focus on Urusei, and the series became a regular serialization from the middle of 1979. Takahashi said that she had been dreaming about the overall universe of Urusei Yatsura since she was very young. She said that the series really includes everything I ever wanted to do. I love science fiction because sci-fi has tremendous flexibility. I adopted the science fiction style for the series because then I could write any way I wanted to. She wanted the reader to be completely surprised by the next panel and used slapstick comedy so create a reaction in the reader. When Takahashi ran out of ideas she would create new characters. Takahashi shared a small 150 square feet apartment with her assistants, and slept in a closet due to a lack of space. While writing Urusei Yatsura she also began work on Masonic Hokyu and used this experience as well as her university experience as the basis for the setting of that series. Character names often carry extra meanings used to describe a character's personality or other traits. For example, the name Ateru Murabushi refers to being hit by a star, a reference to the aliens and other people who gather around him. The name Shinobu suggests a patient character, however this in contrast to the character's actual personality. In a similar way, the setting for the series is Tomobiki, which means friend-taking. Tomobiki is also the name of a superstitious day in the old Japanese calendar system considered to have no winners or losers, and occurred on every 6th day. Funerals rarely took place on this day as it was believed more deaths would soon follow. Lum was named after Agnes Lum, a bikini model during the 1970s. Lum's use of the English word darling in reference to Ateru was to emphasize her status as a foreigner. In 1994, Takahashi stated that she will not produce any more content for the series. The characters of Magan, Perm, Kakugari and Chibi are recurring characters throughout the anime adaptation, however in the manga they are nameless fans of Lum who are never seen after Mendo is introduced. In contrast, the character Kosuke Shirai plays a large role in the manga, but does not appear in the anime series. His role is often performed by Perm. The second half of the anime is closer to the manga than the first half. The character Ten made a much later appearance in the manga than in the anime. Media =manga=. The series began sporadic serialization in September 1978 in that year a unregistered trademark S39th issue of the manga anthology Weekly Shonen Sunday until the middle of 1979 when it became a regular serialization. It ended in 1987's 8th issue after publishing 374 chapters and almost 6,000 pages. A total of 34 individual volumes with 11 chapters each were released in tankobon format between 1980 and March 1987. After the 10th anniversary of start of the series, it was printed in 15 wideband editions between July 1989 and August 1990. Each volume contained around 25 chapters, and were printed on higher quality paper, with new inserts. A bunkoban edition of the series was released over 17 volumes between August 1998 and December 1999. Each volume contains 4 arcs by other manga creators discussing the influence the series had on them. And My First Big Edition was printed between July 2000 and September 2004. This edition was similar to the tankobon but used low-quality paper and was sold at a low price. A Shinsoban edition over 34 volumes was released between November 17, 2006 and March 18, 2008. This edition was also similar to the tankobon but used new cover artwork and included a section that displayed artwork from current manga artists. The manga has sold over 26 million copies in Japan. After requests from fans, Viz Media licensed the series for release in English across North America under the title of Urusei Yatsura. Despite a strong start, the series was dropped after 8 issues. The series was then reintroduced in the monthly Viz publication in America, and because of the long gap the series was retitled The Return of Lum. To start, chapters were published monthly in America, however due to reader feedback and an increased popularity of the series it was decided to release it as an individual monthly publication. The English release finished in 1998 and is now out of print. The first 11 volumes of the Japanese release were covered, but several chapters were excluded and a total 9 English volumes of the series were released. Anime. The series was adapted by Kitty Films into an animated TV series that aired from October 14, 1981 to March 19, 1986 on Fuji Television. Initial episodes of the series contained 2 stories, which has led to episode totals of both 195 and 218 episodes. Episode 10 was the first episode to only contain 1 story. The first 106 episodes were directed by Mamoru Oshii and the remainder by Kazuo Yamazaki. 6 opening theme songs and 9 closing themes were used during the series. On December 10, 1983, the first VHS release of the series was made available in Japan. The series was also released on 50 Laserdiscs. Another VHS release across 50 cassettes began on March 17, 1998 and concluded on April 19, 2000. 2 DVD boxed sets of the series were released between December 8, 2000 and March 9, 2001. These were followed by 50 individual volumes between August 24, 2001 and August 23, 2002. To celebrate the 35th anniversary of the anime, a new HD transfer was created and released on Blu-ray in Japan. The first Blu-ray boxed set of the series was released on March 27, 2013, with the 4th box set scheduled for release on March 23, 2014. During 1992, the series was licensed for a North American release by Animeago. Their VHS release began in October of the same year and was among the first anime titles to receive a subtitled North American release. However, the release schedule was erratic. The first 2 episodes were released with an English dub on March 29, 1995 as Those Obnoxious Aliens. Anime Projects released the series in the United Kingdom from April 25, 1994. Animeago later released the series on DVD. The series was available in box set format as well as individual releases. A total of 10 boxed sets and 50 individual DVDs were released between March 27, 2001 and June 20, 2006. Each DVD and VHS contained liner notes explaining the cultural references and puns from the series. A fan group known as Lum's Stormtroopers convinced the Californian public television station KTEH to broadcast subtitled episodes of the series in 1998. Animeago's license later expired, and is confirmed that the series is out of print as of September 2011. An improvisational dub of the first 2 episodes was broadcast on BBC Choice in 2000 as part of a Japan Night special as Lum the Invader Girl. The anime was distributed in Southeast Asia on an IMAX Asia as Lami the Invader Girl. Films. During the television run of the series, 4 theatrical films were produced. Urusei Yatsura, Only You was directed by Mamoru Oshii and began showing in Japanese cinemas on February 11, 1983. Urusei Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer was directed by Mamoru Oshii and was released on February 11, 1984. Urusei Yatsura 3, Remember My Love was directed by Kazuo Yamazaki and released on January 26, 1985. Urusei Yatsura 4, Lum the Forever was directed again by Kazuo Yamazaki and released on February 22, 1986. After the conclusion of the television series, 2 more films were produced. A year after the television series finished, Urusei Yatsura, the final chapter, was directed by Satoshi Dezaki and was released on February 6, 1988 as a 10th anniversary celebration. It was shown as a double bill with a Masonic hockey movie. The final film, Urusei Yatsura, Always My Darling, was directed by Katsuhisa Yamada and was released on August 18, 1991. In North America, Beautiful Dreamer was released by Central Park Media. The remaining 5 films were released by Animeago in North America and MVM Films in the United Kingdom. OVA releases On September 24, 1985, the special Ryoko's September Tea Party was released, consisting of a mixture of previously broadcast footage with 15 minutes of new material. A year later, on September 15, 1986, Memorial Album was released, mixing new and old footage. On July 18, 1987, the TV special Inaba the Dreammaker was broadcast before being released to video. It was followed by Raging Sherbet on December 2, 1988, and by Nagisa's Fianca copyright 4 days later on December 8, 1988. The Electric Household Guard was released on August 21, 1989, and followed by I Howl at the Moon on September 1, 1989. They were followed by Goat and Cheese on December 21, 1989 and Catch the Heart on December 27, 1989. Finally, Terror of Girly Eyes, Measles and Date with a Spirit were released on June 21, 1991. The OVAs were released in North America by Animeago, who released them individually over 6 discs. In the UK they were released as a 3-disc collection by MVM on September 6, 2004. On December 23, 2008, a special was shown at the Itsurumic World exhibition of Rumiko Takahashi's works. Entitled The Obstacle Course Swim Meet, it was the first animated content for the series in 17 years. On January 29, 2010, a box set was released featuring all of the recent Rumiko Takahashi specials from the Rumic World exhibition. Entitled Itsurumic World, the boxed set contains The Obstacle Course Swim as well as a figure of Lum. Other media. A large number of LP albums were released after the series began broadcasting. The first soundtrack album was Music Capsule, which was released on April 21, 1982, and a follow-up Music Capsule 2 was released on September 21, 1983. A compilation The Hit Parade was released in July 1983, and The Hit Parade 2 was released on May 25, 1985. A cover album by Yuko Matsutani's Songbook was released on May 21, 1984. Lum's voice actress Fumi Hirano also released a cover album, Fumi no Lum Song, which was released on September 21, 1985. Many games have been produced based on the series. The first game to be released was a handheld electronic game, released by Bandai in 1982. Following it were microcomputer games, as well as Urusei Yatsura, Lum no Wedding Bell, which was released by Jalico for the Famicom on October 23, 1986, exclusively in Japan. The latter was developed by TOS as a port of the unrelated arcade game Amogo 120%. In 1987, Urusei Yatsura was released by Microcabin for the Fujitsu FM7, and Urusei Yatsura, Koi no Survival Party was released for the MSX computer. Urusei Yatsura, Stay With You was released by Hudson Soft for the PC Engine CD on June 29, 1990, with an optional music CD available. Urusei Yatsura, Miss Tomobiki Osagase was released by Yanaman for the Nintendo Game Boy on July 3, 1992. Urusei Yatsura, My Dear Friends was released by Game Arts for the Sega Mega CD on April 15, 1994. Urusei Yatsura, Endless Summer was released for the Nintendo DS by Marvelous on October 20, 2005. Reception: Takahashi stated that the majority of Japanese Urusei Yatsura fans were high school and university students. The series' peak readership figures were with 15-year-olds, but the distribution of readers was skewed towards older males. She said that this was very easy for her since the ages of the readers were similar to her own age. Takahashi expressed happiness that people from her generation enjoy the series. Takahashi added that she felt disappointment that Urusei Yatsura did not gain much interest from children, believing that the series may have been too difficult for children. She believed that manga belongs fundamentally to children, and maybe Urusei Yatsura just didn't have what it took to entertain them. The manga received the Shogakukan Manga Award in 1981. In Manga, The Complete Guide, Jason Thompson referred to the original manga as a slapstick combination of sci-fi, fairy tale and ghost story elements with plenty of cute girls. He also notes that Lum is the original otaku dream girl. He awarded the series 4 stars out of 4. Christina Carpenter of THEM Anime praises the characters and humor and notes the influence the series had on other series over the years. Carpenter summarizes the series as original and unapologetically Japanese classic that earns every star we can give, and awarded the series 5 stars out of 5. In an interview with EX.org, Fred Schott expressed a surprise at the popularity of the English release of the manga as he believed the cultural differences would be a problem. In 1982, the anime series is ranked 6th in Animagia Euroshow the Anime Grand Prix. The following year, the show climbed to 4th place. In 1984, the OVA Urusei Yatsura, Only You took 5th and the anime took 6th. While the series did not appear in 1985, the movie Beautiful Dreamer did. In 1986, the show reappeared in 6th place and third OVA took 3rd place. In 1987, the series went down to 8th place. The series received 2 awards from the magazine Animage as part of their reader-voted Anime Grand Prix. In 1982, the theme song Lum No Love Song was voted Best Anime Song. In 1983, the 67th episode was voted Best Episode. In the Anime Encyclopedia, a guide to Japanese animation since 1917, Jonathan Clements and Helen McCarthy viewed the series as a Japanese Simpsons for its usage of domestic humor and make note of Animeago's attention to providing notes for those unfamiliar with Japanese culture. They summarize the series as a delight from beginning to end, and that the series absolutely deserves its fan-favorite status. In a feature of the series An Anime Invasion, McCarthy recommends the series as being the first, the freshest and the funniest of Takahashi's works and also for the large cast, stories and as a cultural and historical resource. Writing an anime from Akira to Princess Mononoke, experiencing contemporary Japanese animation, Susan J. Napier dedicates several pages to discussion of the series, regarding it as a pioneering work in the magical girlfriend genre. Napier contrasts the series to Western shows such as Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, highlighting their harmonious resolution to the chaos in comparison to Urusei Yatsura's out-of-control ending to each episode. Napier later compares the series to other magical girlfriend series such as R. My Goddess and Video Girl I. Fred Patton, writing and watching anime, reading manga, 25 years of essays and reviews, credits the series with being the first program to inspire translations from fans. Patton later credits the series for introducing the phenomenon of using anime to advertise pop songs, claiming it was a deliberate decision by Kitty Films. Writing further about the series for website Cartoon Research, Patton notes that the series was aimed at adults who could buy their own merchandise, as opposed to being subsidized by toy sales like many other shows at the time. Like Napier, Patton compares the series to Bewitched, but also to Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Influence and legacy. The series has been credited by Jonathan Clements in Schoolgirl Milky Crisis, Adventures in the Anime and Manga Trade as influencing multiple other Geek Gets Girl works including Tenkai Muo and Love Hina. Tokyo Movie Shinsha produced the series Galaxy High School for CBS as an attempt to create a similar series for the American market. The school scenario is reversed to be based around humans attending a high school for aliens. In 1992, the singer Matthew Sweet released the single I've Been Waiting, the video of which features images of Lum from the series. In 1993, a band from Glasgow formed under the name Urusei Yatsura as a tribute. On Star Trek, The Next Generation, anime references were frequently added as in-jokes and homages by senior illustrator Rick Sternbach. In the episode Up the Long Ladder, Two ships named Urusei Yatsura and Tomobiki can be seen on a graphical display. Use of Japanese culture. The series is considered an excellent source for references to Japanese culture and mythology. The series makes heavy use of Japanese literature, folklore, history and pop culture. Examples of literature and folklore include the tale of Genji and Urashima Taro. Many of the characters in the series are derived from mythological creatures. In some cases the creatures themselves appeared, and in other cases a character was designed to incorporate the characteristics of a mythological creature. Stories and situations made use of these mythological elements to create jokes and draw comparisons with the original mythology. For example, the Oni choose tag to decide of their contest with Earth because the Japanese word for tag, onagoko, means game of the Oni. When Ateru grabs a lamb's horns during their contest and she misunderstands his statement that he can get married, it is a reference to the myth that grabbing the horns of an Oni will make your dream come true. References. External links: Animeago, United States distributor of the Urusei Yatsura anime. Lamb, The Invader Girl, Urusei Yatsura, Forincan.com, The World of Urusei Yatsura's Lum, Urusei Yatsura at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia.